Okay, so today I'm going to share with you the true cost of car ownership. I think some people may have the impression that by owning a car you're just paying your monthly car installments and petrol, car park and whatnot. But I think there is a hidden cost of owning a car in Singapore. So let me take you through a real life example. So basically, this is my the actual numbers that I've used from my own car ownership. So I bought this second-hand car a couple years back, and I paid a price of 165,888 for it. So in Singapore, you have to make a deposit of 40% on the car value. So the deposit upfront is about 66,000, and the remaining is the 60% is actually taken in the form of a loan. So these are the basic facts. And in Singapore, you can only take a car loan of up to a max of 7 years. So because my car has a remaining tenure of about 8.66 years at the time that I entered into the contract, essentially I can take the full or the max loan of 7 years. So at that time, I took this loan at the during the COVID era where interest rates were at an all-time low. So my car interest was 2.08%. So let us just dive straight into the car loan itself. So in this orange columns here, you can see my monthly repayment for my car. So essentially, you can see that the initial upfront deposit of 66,000 is paid on month zero. So this is the 40% I was talking about on the down payment. And each month I have to pay a car installment of 1,357. So this stretches on for about 84 months. And as you can see, after that, I do not have to make any more car payments. So essentially, the bank actually underwrites the credit risk for about 7 years for the car, and after 7 years, basically they are fully paid, right? So the total interest is also calculated here. And as you can see, a car loan is non-amortizing, so meaning to say that the payments are basically, as you can see, the interest is not declining. So very unlike a mortgage payment where the interest portion that you pay actually declines over time. For a car loan, it actually stays constant. So maybe next time when I create a video on a mortgage, we can actually compare the differences. So after that, we can look at the monthly OPEX. So most people will be quite familiar with this. So obviously, we have to pay for petrol, car insurance, car park, road tax, as well as like your half a yearly maintenance work or even repairs. And another thing that is a bit unusual that I would like to present here is basically adjusted depreciation. The reason is because in normal terms, most of the time people look at depreciation as essentially a yearly depreciation, but they do not take into account the initial cash flow of the 40% that you down pay. So what I did over here was that I took the total depreciation minus of the initial down payment of 40% over here, and I divide it out by 104 months, which is essentially this 8.66 times 12, right? So from years I convert it to months. So my adjusted depreciation a month is about 754. Okay, so and this on a linear basis, so essentially it's equal weighting for all months. Maintenance, I think this actually all these numbers are a bit outdated. It was based on my previous mileage, but nowadays I think I clock probably almost double these amounts. So actually they do scale up as you use your car. So I think the variable components are essentially your petrol, insurance, car park, as well as this maintenance, because the more you use your car, generally these four items actually increase in tandem. Adjusted depreciation is basically remains the same because a car is just a depreciating asset, and whatever price you paid upfront is already known and fixed. Okay, so I think these are the basic components. So I calculate the total monthly cost here as well. So you can see this is on a cash flow basis per month. Essentially, my total monthly cost comes up to about 1,587. This is taking into account that I actually added up these components over here and also the interest, right? So essentially it's about 1,006, but I think it could go up to about 2,000 per month, depending on the usage. So this is basically, if you look down at this calculation over here, there is actually a salvage value. This one is currently, the scrap value is indicated at 21,000. However, this value can actually decline. So if this value declines, then I would increase the depreciation by a corresponding amount. So it could, let's say in future, if I sell the car for only 5,000, then obviously like the 15,000 will be spread out across the adjusted depreciation numbers. So these are basically the summary of the cost of a car in Singapore. So let me go ahead and sum up this entire cost. So your cost is essentially these amounts, and let's see how much is it. So essentially the cost comes up to about 206,000 for about 8.66 years, as you can see. So essentially this amount is just what you can observe, right? If you do a monthly accounting. But I just want to share that it's not just the cost that you can see, but there's also a hidden opportunity cost of not investing the savings from car ownership. Had you actually taken taxi plus public transport, for example, in my case over here, I use an example of $1,000. This assuming I take let's say private hire or taxi, and I supplement it with, let's say, public transport from time to time. So you can see the savings. Savings here would be taking the difference of monthly cost and also the cost of a taxi. So essentially it comes up to there are some, basically this is the total savings, right? So basically if I take a very conservative investment return per annum of about 5%, then I try to compound basically impute the interest that I would have gained had I actually invested the savings over the course of these 8.66 years that I'm trying to simulate here. So you can see, I think the biggest opportunity cost is actually arising from the down payment, because the down payment is quite significant. You're paying 40% of the cost upfront of a car upfront. So obviously, like, this amount is huge, right? So as you can see, on a monthly basis, the savings may not be as great. So I compound it based on the number of months remaining, and essentially these are the total savings. Okay. Okay, so I won't sum this one. This one is not very useful. Savings is not. Savings we can actually have a look as well. But what I wanted to basically point out over here is that over the course of 8.66 years, actually the opportunity cost that of owning a car is actually $152,000. So I think another relevant information is actually to compare it against basically the cost of using taxi and public transport. So let me just put, right, so let me just summarize the observation here. So actually the total car cost is actually you have to impute the okay, let me put it here instead. Total car cost, actual plus opportunity cost, right? Okay, let me call it OC, right? It's actually this amount minus this amount, right? This is so this amount is actually the actual cost, and this one is actually the opportunity cost. It's actually about $360,000 over the course of um, 8 years thereabouts. So I guess that that is it. But okay, if you want to find out, okay, so what is the total cost of using public transport? Okay, private hire plus public transport, right? What is that cost? It is actually 206k. Okay, so actually the total cost of convenience, define it as if you define it as the difference between the two, then let us just try and compute it. Okay, so I will take the negative of this uh, plus this, right? So this is the cost of convenience of owning a car over the amount of the above and beyond what you have done if you have taken taxi and public transport. So if let's say we want to simulate what would that opportunity cost be had you actually taken let's bus and MRT, let's maybe put a number of $300 and see how the numbers might change. So actually the cost of convenience is actually 244k, as you can see, is above and beyond the car cost, right? So I guess this basically sums it all up. So the example I'm giving here is based on 8.66 years, but if you, let's say you buy a new car, and as all of us know, a new car, the first year depreciation is a lot higher. So in fact, if you actually buy a new car, the total cost of convenience could go up to maybe 300k over 10 years. So you are looking at essentially a cost of convenience payment of about 30,000 per year if you had bought a new car. So there's some savings to buying a second-hand car, because if you take off the initial steep depreciation, you can have some savings. But essentially, yeah, this is what I'm trying to illustrate. And I guess everybody has a different use case for convenience, so that is a totally personal decision. But I hope that this calculation actually helps you to see a lot clearer on the true cost of car ownership in Singapore. Okay, all right, thanks.